Hi everyone, this is Ryan Hoyme, founder of Massage Nerd, and today I have Alyssa Haynes. Welcome, Alyssa.
Thanks, Ryan.
So, how do you get involved in the massage field?
I graduated from college with a degree in liberal studies with concentration in sociology and women's studies, so I was qualified to do absolutely nothing. And I landed in pharmacy as a pharmacy technician in a retail pharmacy, and I did 8 years of that, and I loved it. I loved dealing with the customers, and I really liked interacting with the personnel in medical offices, and I loved the healthcare aspect of it, but I did not love dealing with insurance and third party and really just being the messenger of bad news about lousy insurance coverage at the pharmacy level. So when I was looking for something else to do, because I was kind of burning out on pharmacy, I'd gotten a couple of massages and I got a couple more, and I thought I could do this. It was everything I loved about being involved in health and wellness, with none of the stuff I hated, the levels of red tape and third-party insurance and payers and such like. So it evolved naturally. And then I went to massage school and by default started my own business. I had a friend who was a chiropractor, and I interned in his office at the end of my schooling, and it was wonderful. I graduated from school and he said, just stay in that room you've been in. Just take it for a couple of months and then we'll talk about rent. So I graduated on Sunday night and I already had 5 clients in my book for that week. People who I'd worked on as a student who were ready to start paying full price because I had prepped them for that. And all of a sudden I own my own business. It was really by default. There was very little intentional about it ahead of time. It was only about a month before I graduated that I thought, yeah, okay, I could totally run my own business. Well, let's give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
And there's 2 things I did not want to go do when I was going through massage school. I did not want to teach, and I did not want to own my own business, but I ended up doing both.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you still see patients? Do you
No.
still see clients? So
No.
you're not doing a lot of hands-on work right now?
No.
And so you're doing massage nerd stuff?
Yep.
And then you just stopped teaching?
Yep.
And now you working with Bonditel to
Yep.
travel around the country for these kinds of shows?
Yep. Yeah, because I like that aspect and stuff. And for myself, too, I have a deformity, I call it, but my arm is actually straight right now, the right one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's actually bent at a 45-degree angle. And for physically, I mean, I could get maybe 10 to 15 massages a week kind of thing, but it was like that was my max.
Oh, yeah, you've got a big
Yeah.
scar there.
Yeah.
Everybody, Ryan has a
Yeah.
really cool scar. It's so badass. It really is. Let's get we need like a really cool tattoo over it, like a dragon or something. Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm drawing one on you later.
Yeah, I don't have any tattoos yet, so.
That was more than we needed to know.
So, what did you think of the whole educational experience when you're going through school?
I loved it. I went to Bancroft School of Massage in Worcester, Massachusetts, which I just learned is the 3rd oldest massage school in the country.
Wow.
I graduated 7 years ago. It was, I like to argue that it's clearly one of the finer schools in New England. And we've got some great schools in New England, but Bancroft. I looked at 2 schools, and I went into the open house at Bancroft and kind of looked around, and it was very friendly without being overly huggy and snuggly. I'm not a huggy, snuggly person, and I was certainly even less so then. And I was like, but it was friendly, and it fit me perfectly. And
you have to be around people too. You know,
yeah, to be around people, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. I had a class. I had one of the larger classes Bancroft put through. I had 26 or 7 people in my class, and many of their classes are 4, 5, 6 people. And for whatever reason, I ended up in this amazing, wonderfully large and diverse class. And the large class meant we would have an instructor, but we'd have 2 or 3 assistants there, and we got so much personal attention and so much love, and they were so good about helping us learn in the way that was best for us. And I had Diane Falsino, who is coming up a lot this weekend, as my very first teacher for anatomy, or it was the anatomy segment, and the way she taught anatomy was just exciting, and I never thought it could be. I thought I was going to have to trudge my way through anatomy, and she made it fun, and we used the mannequin system to build the muscles onto the skeleton with clay, and then she offered a cadaver workshop, and which was totally creepy and wonderful. And I loved it. I loved being in school at Bancroft. I feel fortunate that I went to one of the better schools, I think. And they really equipped me with enough of a business background so that when I graduated, and even through school, I knew to save my receipts for everything. I knew that if I started my own business, or even if I didn't, what I was going to be able to claim on taxes. And it was a real wonderful and full education there. And I right away, I think I was within a couple of weeks of graduating when I took a pregnancy massage class that was offered as continuing education at the school. Elaine Stillerman, Mother Massage, came in and did it.
Yep.
And that catapulted my practice right away as well. And it was an amazing education, and it never left me. I became very good friends with Greg Hurd, who does alumni services and career services, and does many of the business classes through the program. And the support I've gotten from Bancroft is just amazing, and the relationship with AMTA that ultimately encouraged me to volunteer, which is how I'm here. I started volunteering, and I became part of this world. And I got to meet people like you and Ralph Stevens and Ruth Warner through my volunteering. And we talked about this on your show a little while ago. Just by volunteering, which is something my school encouraged me to do. It's amazing. I loved my education. Long answer to a short question. I liked my school experience, Ryan.
And you wrote an amazing blog about Diane, too. Yeah, I mean, so many good positive comments, and so many people are sharing it out there, too. And,
to lose Diane Pellicino is just so sad, and just the giant of our profession, I think, in so many ways. And I was so fortunate to have her as my instructor. And I think, at the time I was sitting there in this anatomy class, or all through school, like somebody was like, oh yeah, she writes for the journal. At the time I didn't know what the journal was. I didn't realize that the Massage Therapy Journal, was put out by the AMTA and is one of the premier, publications in our industry. It never occurred to me that my little old teacher in Worcester, Massachusetts was writing this thing that was so profound and important to our industry. And I go back and I look at my old MTJs and I think, oh my God, I can't believe I had that in front of me, and I feel like I didn't use her to the fullest capacity. There's so much more I could have gotten if I had really realized it. But, and then after graduating, and she was so supportive to me personally. And we actually had a little walk this morning that Tracy Walton and Carol Osborne put together. One of the things Diane loved to do at these events was go out early in the morning for a little walk wherever we were. And so we did an early morning walk today. There was probably about 20 some of us, and just strolled and chatted about Diane, and it was really lovely. And I don't remember my point. Oh, so people were sharing, and several years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I was starting up all of this Blue Streak stuff and starting to blog for the industry and for my colleagues, Diane was so incredibly supportive of me, and I was feeling very beaten down for a little while in my volunteer work. I burnt myself out. I didn't really care for myself enough, and I did too much. And she was so thoughtful and encouraging to me. And I was thinking about it more this morning, and she's really just the epitome of the total package. She was just a great role model for seeing how a woman at that level in this industry, because there are not enough women high up in our industry, a lot of the big teachers are males. And
I know, why is that?
I don't know, but she really showed how we could be smart, funny, and hot. We could still be ourselves. We could still have personality and be vibrant and be smart and funny. And I so aim to be like that one day. I want to be as smart as her. I'll never be as smart as Diane. And why are we so male dominated? Is it because we value the skills of orthopedic massage and sports massage more, and males tend to gravitate towards that simply because it's hard to be a male in this business? So why is it that our leadership and our teaching is male heavy, but our crew, our ranks, our troops
80
are
to 85% is.
It's real disproportionate. And Diane was a really big proponent of reminding women that we are absolutely capable at teaching at high levels and international levels, and which is not to disparage the men in the industry who are doing amazing things. I love male teachers as much as I love female, but it's a strange, disproportionate thing going on, and I don't know. I see it changing, and I was so fortunate to be able to chair the New England Regional Conference in 2011, and a couple of people noticed, like, your slate's really top heavy with females. So I was like, yes, it is. And that was really wonderful to be able to do, to have Diana Thompson keynote for us, and to be able to have Marjorie Brooke and Ruth Warner was there representing the MTF. And I can't even think, along with some amazing male teachers. And I really look forward to, like, 10 years from now, us not having to consider gender when we talk about our field. I'd love to see more male therapists We need more male troops, and I'd love to see more female therapists rising up, which is really truly happening now. But yeah, it's still a little, when you look at high-level educators and international educators, especially with hands-on work, we're definitely predominantly male there, and I look forward to seeing that evolve.
Yep. And for myself too, it seems like I'm going the opposite way because I'm going more like social media or video or these different areas. And the thing is, I hope females will get into more the technique based more, even though there are some out there. I just want to see it a lot more and stuff, and reverse those roles a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, it is changing, and I don't think we'll even feel a need for this discussion 5 or 10 years from now, and I look forward to that. The women's studies major in me is like, come on, girls rock! But, you know, I mean, whatever, it just doesn't matter. I think that's really important. In a lot of ways, it doesn't matter, so I'm kind of an ignore it, and it'll get better person.
So what did you start to blog then?
So a couple of years ago, I found that I was the go-to person for massage therapists in my area. And, you know, I had several local colleagues. We played together a lot, and I was always the one they would call and be like, I think I'm going to do a postcard drop before Christmas. What do you think I should put on it? And at some point in a span of 2 weeks, I had 3 colleagues ask me pretty much the same question, and I emailed a response to all of them at once. Well, I think you should do this. And I'm really good at telling people what to do. I just am. So, and I started to read more articles and online things that were being published by people in our industry, and I thought I could do that. I could write a blog. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I just started to put it out. I actually started on Facebook. I utilized the notes feature, and I put out a couple of thoughts about this, that, and the other thing, and it was fairly well received, and I got really wonderful feedback, positive and negative, but all wonderful, in that it helped me to kind of figure out what I was going to create. And I started writing a blue streak, and just speaking to my colleagues and speaking to my friends and saying, your appointment book's not full, what are you doing? Are you forgetting to do this? Because it was really all the things that, in some ways, my whole blog is just a pep talk to myself. You know, I am the same as everyone else. I hated, I don't anymore because I got it down, but it was very hard for me to create those patterns and those habits of scheduling time to market my business every week, of getting my email newsletter out, of making follow-up calls to people who, you know, just needed to be reminded that I exist and who had said, no, touch base with me in a couple of months and I'll reschedule. So, and of learning how to talk about my business. So I was comfortable about it out in the world and learning how to be myself. There was a real big transition 3 years ago when I moved out of the chiropractic office into my own space, and I could finally hang up the art that I loved, and I could, you know, play music in my waiting room, and I could do whatever I wanted, and all of a sudden I came into myself, and I got to be loud when a client walked in the door because I wasn't going to disturb anybody. I know. Now, so my clients had gone from walking in the door and me being like, "Hey, Bob, it's nice to see you," and now I'm like, "Hey, Bob," and I'm shoving a muffin and coffee in my mouth, and you're like, "What?" But really getting to have my own environment, to create that, and to control my own environment, allowed me to become myself. And when I did that, I think when I moved into the new office, I was probably seeing a regular 12 to 15 clients a week. And within 6 or 7 months, and this was 3 years ago, so what are we, 2012? So this was 2009, so this is the beginning of the economy having a problem. In that first year, I had a 42% growth. I just rocketed from 12, 13 clients a week to 22-ish, and I finally had to start capping it 24, because I would just hate anyone who came in the door after the 23rd patient of the week. So I kind of started to know my mental limits. My body was holding up okay, but my mental limits were just tough. So I cut that down to about 20. But coming into my own grew my practice. Just being happier there made clients refer people to me more. Being myself and being fun and funny and telling clients stories, being able to schedule extra time before and after treatments to really kind of hang out with my clients as they had some water and we rescheduled, and to not have to hurry, allowed me to develop much deeper relationships with my patients, and my word of mouth referrals just ba-boom. Yeah. So it was wonderful. And that's, so then I started sharing marketing tips with colleagues, and then I'm so grateful. Ann Catlin and Lisa Carn-Parento, a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, from Compassionate Touch, asked me to do a webinar with them, and we talked about marketing with personality, and then it was so well received. I turned that into a little free ebook that you can totally get if you go to writingabluestreak.com and sign up for email subscriptions. I remembered to do that, thank goodness. And then that turned into, hey, ebooks are fun and they're helping people. So we did the Blogging for Your Massage Business ebook this past spring, and we did a month-long workshop, an hour a week of a webinar type training, and that went really well. So coming up next is email marketing for your massage business. And the blogging has really got me into this whole community of people like you. I really didn't know you. And I'm not a video person, so I wouldn't have known you. But because of the blogging, because you're guest blogging with Massage Today, is that right?
And Massage Magazine.
In Massage Magazine. And because of that, I got to know you and blogging and Facebook, the power of social media, people. It put me in touch with people like Laura Allen and Felicia Brown, who's right over there. Yeah. And like all of these people who I would not really have been developed relationships with. It's really just sucked me right in, and the more you do, the more you have to write about, and the more you learn. And Laura's book was amazing for me, and yeah, it blew up. I don't remember the question now. I just got so excited.
So you think people should be blogging about their business then?
So I think that, there's two different aspects. I not only blog for my colleagues at writingabluestreak.com, but I blog for my clients and for my massage business. And these are two very different things. There's a little overlap, but for the most part, they're pretty separate. So yes, I blog for my colleagues, but blogging for my colleagues helped me learn how to blog for my business. So at my massage website, I've got the standard website stuff. I've got a page that talks about my services and my pricing, a page that talks about the kind of massage I do. I've got a resource page that for people who I might not be the best practitioner for them, but here are some of my friends who are amazing practitioners. And I started a blog page. So I write articles, I create content that will make a potential client or clients even more intrigued with my work. So I do a lot of work for people who sit at desks. So I actually did a video, because you encouraged me to. I did a video about showing just the same thing I do when I'm at my desk and I'm doing, in my exit interview with clients, showing them how to roll their shoulders back. So I taped that. I did like 5 minutes on my little laptop, just using the camera there, and I taped a little. This is what I remember. I show you this in my office, and I'm giving you this video, so you remember to do it. Roll your shoulders back, breathe so your breastbone comes up to the ceiling, and useful things that my clients need. A little bit about stretching here and there. Last year, when the whole lactic acid debate blew up, I wrote a little bit about what I had learned about circulation and lactic acid in massage school, linked to the New York Times article that was showing lactic acid isn't a waste product, by the way, and it doesn't have a relationship to delayed onset muscle soreness. And so it's topics that my clients are interested in, so they love that I can keep them even more informed. It's topics that potential clients who visit my website are going to be interested in. It's going to show them the kind of person and kind of therapist I am, because I write in a happy, personable voice, hopefully the way I typically am. I write the way I talk. And blogging is amazing for increasing your search engine optimization. So the more I blog for my clients, the better informed they are. The more potential clients can get to know me through my website. So if they're nervous about coming in, they get to know me a little bit through my blog and my website first, and then they're more comfortable calling me or emailing me or clicking to schedule. And more people see my website because my search engine optimization is much better. So it's just this beautiful circle of all things personal and all things technological. And that's, I think, what people miss is, social media, online marketing, blogging, all of these things, there's such a personal element to them that I think people don't see because they're scared by the technology. It's a learning curve with any new technology. There's a learning curve with any new massage stroke. You don't know how to petrissage the first day of class. Yep. So, and you don't know how to log into Facebook the first time you try. You have to read the help manual. You have to read your massage manual, and you have to practice. You have to read the little help button and search for help topics on Facebook, and then you'll know how to create a group or a page. So we get really scared by that. But blogging, it allows you to put yourself out in a more personal way, so people can get to know you before they come in and take their clothes off and you touch them, which is scary. It's scary for people.
Yeah, and so many people are scared about putting themselves out in the internet too and stuff. So it's,
well, you know what? You're there whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
If you are licensed by your state or locality, or you are a member of a professional organization, chances are you are going to be findable online. The question is, do you want to control that reputation? So there's all these trolley websites, I call them, that will create these listings for you, and all of a sudden you'll show up in like wellness.com listing for massage therapist, and then they'll try to like sell you a package where you can add to your profile, and that's crappy. You know, you don't need those listings if you have a website that has good search engine optimization.
Yep.
You know, whether or not you like it, Google yourself. Something is probably going to come up. Do you want to control what's going to come up? Or do you want to pretend that the interwebs is too scary and let someone else control your reputation? At this point, there's no such thing as privacy. If you're a licensed professional, you're in an online listing somewhere. You've got to control your reputation. And the reality is it's not that hard. You just have to suck it up and learn.
Yep.
I mean, when I graduated from college, I went home and lived at home for a year or two, and we had the dial-up AOL, and we're like,
Yeah.
you've got mail. Remember that? Like, email, it was invented when I was in college. I am not like an innate and inherent user of this stuff. I learned as it happens. So even if you're, we have a lot of colleagues who take massage on as a second career, and that's awesome. But I really hate to hear people be like, well, I don't know how to use that. I'm too old for that. Like, it's ridiculous. That's absurd. If you learned how to massage later, you can learn this stuff. It's just, it sucks. It's a little bit like math sometimes, but suck it up.
Are you okay now?
That's my new tagline. Writing a Blue Streak says, suck it up.
Okay, so the best way to get hold of you is writingabluestreak.com.
Writingabluestreak.com, or if you Google Blue Streak Massage, I usually come up. And I'm all over Facebook, and I'm all over Twitter, which more of you need to be because it's super fun, including you, Ryan.
I know.
I'm making it a personal mission of mine to get Ryan a little more involved in Twitter.
I know.
I think you're really going to like it when you start playing.
I will.
And come check out the stuff. Get a free ebook.
Okay,
And
always
we'll
a
teach you how to
pleasure.
market. Oh, I love this. It's so badass. Yay.
Thanks, everyone.